Joanne Hayes.
Thank you, Mr Speaker, and I stand to take a call on the Greater Christchurch Regeneration Bill. Mr Speaker, my contribution is going to feature on the regeneration of New Brighton. I wasn't born or raised in New Brighton, Mr Speaker. I arrived last year and I stood at the top of the mall at New Brighton and I looked down on a very dismal day that many people that had ever visited New Brighton on that day would have thought, oh dear, things are going not too good here. But, Mr Speaker, I saw a New Brighton mall that had potential for vibrancy, potential for growth, and most importantly, Mr Speaker, I saw potential for regeneration. That's why I am very pleased indeed to stand and speak up for the people of New Brighton, for New Brighton, and the transition to regeneration plan released this month, Mr Speaker. I want to thank Mr Brownlee for the work that he has done in the Christchurch earthquake recovery, and now to the Christchurch transition to regeneration. I want to thank him because he has done a marvellous job in a very difficult situation. He has come down back to his hometown and he has given all his time and his energy to rebuilding Christchurch and to ensure that it is restored back to even a better Christchurch, a world-renowned Christchurch that is much better than its former glory, Mr Speaker. Mr Speaker, in the brief time I've been privileged to serve as the Christchurch East List MP, I've continued and I am determined to immerse myself into this community, Mr Speaker, to give it a voice in these hallowed halls of Parliament and government where very rarely do we hear New Brighton, Christchurch East, Mr Speaker. To date, Mr Speaker, I have met with thousands of constituents within the Christchurch East electorate, with many businesses, with many community groups. Over 92 community groups, Mr Speaker, I have met with, and all of them have said to me about their concerns about the regeneration of New Brighton. What are we going to do? What are we going to do with New Brighton? And so therefore, Mr Speaker, the transition to regeneration plan, Mr Speaker, is a very great start to where we are heading off for the New Brighton area. Mr Speaker, I have met with the New Brighton Business and Landowners Association manager, Mr Paul Zarnan, and just recently his contract finished. And so this man continues in his work and his drive to make sure that New Brighton is regenerated back into a better and prosperous area, Mr Speaker. And albeit the funding is not there for him, but he continues, and some of the business owners, Mr Speaker, are helping to support him along the way. And I want to see this man, this Mr Paul Zarnan, and I want to see him take a key role into the regeneration of New Brighton under the new Urban Development Authority, Mr Speaker, because he has a lot to give, he's done a lot of work, and I believe that through his careful leadership, he will be able to help with the Urban Development Authority. Mr Speaker, the transition to regeneration, transition recovery plan is not just a good thing for New Brighton, it's a great thing for New Brighton, Mr Speaker. It covers areas from Pages Road Bridge, down Hawke and Keys Road, to Rafferty Avenue, Marine Parade, south to Mountbatten Street, to Union Street, and north back up to Pages Road Bridge. And Mr Speaker, some people can sit in here and they can go, that's not big enough. We want it to go from South Shore all the way up to Waimairi Beach. Mr Speaker, this is a start. It is a great start for the people of New Brighton, Mr Speaker. It is a great start for New Brighton per se. And I must say, Mr Speaker, when they do say that to me, I say to them, let's start with small bits and let's start to grow it from there. Because I believe once the New Brighton Business District has been regenerated, that it is going to bring in it is going to build the economy and everything else will flow on from that, Mr Speaker. Because that's the way business development works. That's how the economy and growing the economy works. A little bit can develop into a big result, and that's what regeneration is all about. The regeneration of the New Brighton area, it is a key investment for the government and the City Council. There's a real need for this, and for this Christchurch Beach suburb whose properties are worth less than those around the airport to reverse. We need to reverse that trend. So through this regeneration, that those property prices and values will actually rise. I want to say thank you to our Minister down here. Thank you, Mr Brownlee, for the work that you have done. I want to thank the Canterbury Councils. I want to thank the Mayor, Leanne Dalzell, for the work that she has done in working with government to get us to this point. I want to say thank you to those in New Brighton who have kept the faith, and said, New Brighton Regeneration is where we're going and we're sticking there and we're going to do it. And if you are a List MP who is going to help us do that, then Katapai, welcome. And that's exactly what's been happening, Mr Speaker. Mr Speaker, I look forward to the implementation of this wonderful regeneration plan to see a newer New Brighton, That's where we're going to, Mr Speaker. And I am very proud to commend the bill. I look forward to the submissions to our Local Government and Environment Select Committee, capably led here by our Chair, Mr Scott Simpson, who will be visiting our wonderful Christchurch again to come and see the great things from start to finish as we start to move through this bill. Mr Speaker, as I said, I commend this bill to the House. I look forward to the results. Thank you.